power? Is that the increased phantom power?
It'll take you under and cause the ship to sink. And these times I hold are trapped inside these walls. I'm so anxious, fear of what could go wrong. I'm so anxious, but I'm ready to overcome.
As I'm looking through these pages, everything that we created, how could I want anything else? As I'm reading my own statements on the girls that I've dated, how could I want anyone else? But you said goodbye, and that's alright. Just left me on the sideline. I say that I'm fine, but are you alright? I'm still hanging on the last time. Here's to goodbye. I gave you it all, your space and time. I'm singing here's to goodbye. Don't worry about me, 'cause I'm alright. Yeah, I'll be fine. These days are getting longer. Without you, I grow older. I can't help but miss you, and I thought wanting to call you, but I don't wanna cause an issue. No, I don't wanna cross that line. But you said goodbye, and that's alright. Just let me on your side. I say that I'm fine, but on the inside I'm dying. It's like you threw me on a red road. Here's to goodbye. I gave you it all, your space and time. And I'm singing here's to goodbye. Don't worry about me, 'cause I'm alright. Yeah, I'll be
Go.
Here we are, back at it again, Slam Radio, broadcasting live from Aftershock. Tonight we got it's a special deal. Thursday night when we were supposed to go live, most of us here were sick, had a little bit of a cold. Over that, I know, I got Jillian Risco in here with, yeah, it's been plaguing everybody.
Been bad.
We got the third annual Femme Fatale show going on here tonight. Jillian Risco just performed. I feel bad. We just dropped the bomb that we've all been sick on her. I feel like we should have told her that before we invited her to stick around. So
Yeah, by the way, you
I
might
was
be
just sick, so I might get you guys sick again.
oh well, I think that's been what's happening to me. Is I sick, I get over it, then I'm around someone. I think I got sick last week in here. Everybody was touching everything, and
Honestly, it was the Friday night. We were all great going into Friday night. Someone was patient zero here at Aftershock.
it could have been me.
It was because come Saturday, all of us were just like out for a week.
Right.
It was bad. I didn't go to work all this week. I've been in quarantine, literally by my doctor. They put me in quarantine.
Well, I know.
This is my first time seeing the real world.
Yeah.
Wow, welcome back.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I kind of feel like, especially when you're on the tail end of being sick,
Yeah.
the getting over that is actually just getting yourself up, getting out of the sweatpants and getting out of the house, getting some fresh air, and just pretending that life goes on even though you feel like crap. That's always worked for me. So I'm hoping by the end
I was
of tonight.
disappointed that Thursday we couldn't be in here.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be here, but hey, you know what? Saturday, we're only going to do about an hour and a half tonight versus the 2 hours we planned because of the technical issues, and we all do still have lives outside here, believe it or not. So.
Yeah, what he means is it's Saturday night. I need to be gaming.
Exactly. I got
That's
some
what he
streaming
means.
to do, damn it. So.
Right. So his people are missing him right now. So no, I'm completely from that world because of my son. Today,
We've got him in our clan now. By the way.
I heard you sucked him in. He got a call today, and all I heard was, "I know, I'll be on there in a minute, man. My dad's making me do the dishes." And when he hung up, I'm like, "Who is that?" And he's like, he called them by their online name,
Yeah.
their gaming name, and I'm like, "Who's that?" He's like,
Gamer
my
tag
my
is what it's
clan.
called.
They're waiting for me to jump into the PS, So,
Oh,
but
jeez.
feels good to be back, and Aftershock is packed tonight. Really, Jillian, what is actually going on tonight? I know what's going on, but explain to the listeners what Femme Fatale 3 is and what it represents and what's going on out there in the venue.
Yeah, so Femme Fatale, this is the third installment, if you will. It's been about 10 years since they did that. Forever Grey put a couple on back in the day, and they're doing a reunion show, essentially. And it's basically all about female-fronted bands and women-led businesses, and just supporting women in the scene and showing that we can just do it as awesome as the guys can do. So.
And that is the truth. And you have always been a fine example that women do rock, and as a father of 2 girls, I just think it's awesome that when things like this come together, and what a great night, and what a great night of music. The whole lineup is outstanding.
In all honesty, though, we've been around this music scene a lot. And we've seen even other music scenes. And there's a lot of artists here that really, and people will deny it all day. It's like, oh, that ain't right. That's not true. That's not how it is. But the truth is, as a female-fronted band or a female singer, you are overlooked so much in the music industry. For some reason, I don't know why,
Right.
but they truly are overlooked because there's some amazing talent that's like, well, we already got a chick band on the bill. We don't need 2. It's like, why not? You're booking talent, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I know recently Martina McBride, and just like you said, this runs rampant, not just in rock music or pop music, but even in country music. And she became a big activist just as of lately when, just like you and I, was listening to her Spotify and kept searching country music and was noticing that no matter how many times she did a search, 9 of the 10 or whatever, 90% of the artists that were being recommended were males. So she kind of took that as, her opportunity to use her platform to complain a little bit, and it was that easy. Spotify changed that, so.
Yeah, I'm on a nonprofit called Women on the Rise, who we're a vendor here tonight at Femme Fatale, and basically we did a radio interview lately, and our president brought that up. It's like, hey, we looked at a top 100 of all the country artists, and it was like 5 people were female or something crazy like that out of like 100, and it's just there's the representation is just extremely low for it being 2020, and yeah, it's crazy. It's like it's a commodity, and you're like this special thing being a female, but also it's like we're constantly fighting just to do our thing and just be equals. You know what I mean?
Now, some of my favorite artists over the years have been female artists or female, all female bands. I was watching an interesting show on PBS last night, and it's been like the history of country music, and it's really, and I'm not a huge country music fan, but what I am a fan of is like music documentaries.
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
to get sucked in, and if anyone hasn't watched it, it's on PBS. It's called Country Music, and there's like 10 episodes.
Even if you're not a country music fan, I know the one you're talking about, but it's a great documentary.
It really is.
As far as the temperature of the industry.
And
Just music.
Yes,
Right.
It made me realize that even though I never really acknowledged it, that I Dolly Parton, like, who does not love like Dolly Parton, and
Just think about that. I mean, we're old enough, and there's a lot of people here that aren't old enough to remember this. But when Dolly Parton was coming up in the 80s, or not even coming up, but whenever she made it in the 80s, 70s, 80s, even in the 90s, she wasn't known for her talent. She wasn't known for what she did to revolutionize country music.
Right.
She was known for her breasts.
yes,
That was, I mean, if that isn't the definition of what we're talking about, I don't know what
No,
is.
I remember this, like being 12 years old, going, "What is this?"
Yeah.
It's Dolly Parton behind a tree, But one of the things that she said that was completely non-music related was she said, "Honey, it takes a lot of money to look this cheap," and I was just like,
I love her.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
totally. And she is like the epitome of someone that has like crossed so many genres. Like she obviously the country crowd loves her. She's gone pop. She's crossed over into movies, and I also know that she is very embraced, by the gay community. So what a great artist that can like transcend so many different
And that's just
genres
one
and, yeah.
artist out of all of the different artists that are out there
Yeah.
that have amazing talent, but once again, sometimes they're overlooked. So, you're part of Women on the Rise. So, what do you guys want to do in the future to help, change this trend? What is something as fans, or even other musicians, what can be done to help change this trend of females being looked at as almost, I hate to say it, but a hindrance to a show if you have more than one?
Right. I feel like if we educate and we empower through different like events and different resources that we have, and that's exactly what Women on the Rise does. I feel like that just brings it more to the table as far as just people being aware and just loving female musicians and just being as accepting, of female musicians as male musicians in the industry. So we're all equal. It's 2020. Come on.
Yeah,
It's not the 1950s
it's
anymore.
time to move forward and
For sure.
time to be a true society, not
For sure.
divided. But Project Slam, we're going to take a quick break. Ryan Sloan, Michael
What's up?
McNabb, Mark Vaughn. These are just some
Ryan
of the
and
people.
Michael, what's up?
Ian Joel, we're watching your chats. I'm not talking. Corey's got the computer tonight. He's in the chat room, so if he cusses you out, it's really not us. It's all him.
Oh.
Just so you know.
A lot of guys in the chat room. Where are the ladies?
What?
Jillian Risco,
Yes.
where can people find your music?
Yeah, you can check me out, JillianRisco.com. I just have 2 new singles out on iTunes and Spotify, Creatures of Habit, Breaking Point, produced by Avenue Record Company. Please check those out. I think you guys will love them, and they can find me there on iTunes and Spotify.
Thank you for coming in with us.
Yeah,
we have
thank
more
you.
artists that are here at Femme Fatale coming into the studio here in just a little bit. Femme Fatale 3, actually.
3.
And we'll be talking to them soon. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Project Slam.
it must be remembered that we are in the preliminary stage of one of the greatest battles in history. You ask, what is our policy? I will say it is to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might, with all the strength that God can give us. To wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark and lamentable catalogue of human crime. I would say to the House, as I said to those who joined the government, I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat.
You'll see the whole ocean.
And we're back. Project Slam, projectbackstage.com. We're on Twitch, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube. Oh, hell. I'm forgetting all of them.
American AOL? American, is that AOL?
What the hell?
AOL Live?
AOL? Really? How about Prodigy? You want to go back that far then?
Atari Vision.
I miss that band.
Right, it was ColecoVision.
Yeah, dude, I actually was trying to find a meme for that. Right now, going around
Right.
all the social media is how old are you in a picture type thing. You know, I'm this old, and I was trying to find the ColecoVision.
I think most of us, except for Billy, we are Atari, right? I mean,
I'm
or am
Coleco.
I only Atari?
I'm Coleco. You're Odyssey. You know, the Pong. Bink, bink, bink.
You're right.
So,
I don't know. That's an insult, almost.
It shouldn't be.
Hey, you know, I would wrestle and fight my brothers, for one of those paddles.
no, I remember having an Odyssey right before my Coleco, and the Odyssey, you sat on your lap, and there was like two paddles that you were supposed to set like on the table and just reach one person's
Right.
turns one knob to make the little line go up and down for Pong. The other person turns the other knob. Now, I'd sit there. I was so freaking bored and had no friends. So I'd just sit there, put it on my lap, and play Pong by myself.
Right.
Yeah. Sit there and do that for hours.
Well, why not? It worked.
And he still lost.
And I always won.
Right. That's awesome.
Would you ever get so mad at yourself you just like unplugged it like you would with someone else?
Yes. You have to have the rage. You got to have the rage quit. That's been a thing forever. But go ahead.
Yeah, I had Pong, and it was awesome. And then Atari followed that up. And
See, Coleco followed mine. That was like the Zaxxon and and things, games like that. That was like that.
Dude,
that was it.
It's funny you bring up Zaxxon. That was like that, and Moon Patrol.
Yep.
Those were my jams, man. So just recently, well,
then the NES came out, and then
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda, the original Legend of Zelda, and I lost my life for about a good 3 months playing that first golden cartridge with the battery.
Yep.
And it was awesome.
About a year ago, I took
I
Julian.
gotta ask Frank one
go
quick
ahead.
question. Frank, who's Zelda?
That's the princess.
All right, thank you. I just want to make sure.
No, it's everyone thinks that's Link.
Everybody thinks the guy running around in the sword is Zelda. I'm like,
No, that's Link. Anyway, so go ahead, Corey. Sorry.
I not that long ago, I went down to this place here in the city we reside called Tapcade, and it's one
or
of these,
up down
yeah,
here as well.
and it's a retrocade. But the cool thing about Tapcade is it's family oriented. So was able to take Julian down there, and on Sundays they take 1 or 2 games and they run a tournament. The day we showed up, I didn't even plan this. They had Moon Patrol.
Thanks, Mark.
And Moon Patrol, they were having a Moon Patrol tournament, and I signed up. I knew I'm going to kill it. And my son
Mine
watched
was
me.
Donkey Kong, but I'll get back to
Yeah,
that.
my
Go
son
ahead.
watched me just annihilate everybody else. I ended up winning, which was like the grand prize was like some popcorn, nachos, and like hot dogs. But you have to understand, I don't game, and it frustrates my son. So for him to watch his old dad, who refuses to jump on the PS4, jump on this old school game and just kill it, I could see the admiration in his eyes. And so for a few hours that day, I was like King Dad, and he was telling everyone. So
Oh, jeez.
yeah.
Well, Joey, my son, who has Balderdash Boys here on the what is it? Project Slam. I keep forgetting what we had to rename it to.
Yeah, Project Slam.
So Project Slam. He I literally put $100 bill in the Nintendo Switch has the emulator that you download now that has all the original NES.
Oh, no kidding.
And it comes with the Nintendo Switch. And I opened up Super Mario Brothers, and I said, you got 4 hours to beat Super Mario Brothers. No Google, no nothing. 4 hours. I don't care if you know the shortcut to go all the way through to 8-1 and rush it. I don't care how you do it. You got 4 hours, $100. In 4 hours, he couldn't get past 2-1. Yeah, and
really?
he is a hardcore game. He'll beat COD.
But yet he
Call of
couldn't-
Duty, the campaign, he'll have it done in 45 minutes.
Right.
But he could not figure out Super Mario Brothers. I was like, fine. I'll same $100, Donkey Kong. Get to level 15. Couldn't
That's
get there.
awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, everyone says, "Oh, today's games are so much harder, so much." It's like, no, they're more graphic, they're more detailed, but the skill level is tremendously less. Even though I still get my ass kicked doing, today's
Right.
games. The point is that these older games, oh my God, they were horrible. As far as trying to, you had to have muscle memory from God to figure out how to pass these things.
Now, as old school as I am, one of the cool things that I respect about this generation of games is that I'll be out riding in the car with Julian, and he'll take control of the radio, plug his phone in there, and he'll start playing music. Bands I've never heard of. Good songs. And I'll be like, who's this? And he'll tell me. I'm like, where'd you discover these guys? And he'll be like, oh, they're on a such and such game. And I know that's nothing new. I know that's been going on a while. But who would have ever thought that video games would ultimately be a gateway to kids discovering their favorite music?
Look at Guitar Hero, Rock Band. But look
Get
at
to
like
the mic if you're going to talk.
look at like Guitar Hero and Rock Band. There's Rock Band. They're like great examples of trying to introduce this younger generation to
Guitar
that kind of
Hero
music.
actually opened me up to a lot,
Right.
Because there was a lot of artists that were on Guitar Hero that I was like, "Who's this?" And I never heard of them. But after I had to play their song 300 times, I actually started liking the artist.
It made me want to actually dig deeper into the band.
Right.
The more you played and enjoy the songs.
And Rocksmith is the same way that's out now.
Right.
Where that's where you actually play. Well, it's not out now. It's been out for years, but Rocksmith is like $5 right now
Love that.
on PlayStation.
Love it.
But you plug in a real guitar, a real bass,
Right.
and that's how you play the game. Is it teaches you how to play the instrument.
The actual instrument.
And-
And you even get to like pick your amp.
Yeah.
And your sound. You
Yeah,
know,
well,
it's
you have
totally
to unlock
cool.
them and
Yeah.
stuff. It's really kind of awesome.
Yeah.
The cable's kind of expensive. It's like $30-$40,
Right.
to have the quarter to USB. But once you get past that, the game's like $5 now
Yep.
on the stores. So honestly, if we have any parents listening that wants to get their kids into any type of guitar, just see if they have any type of aptitude for it. That is a great starting point to see if that's where they can or want to be.
Definitely. Now, one of the things that I was excited about getting down here.
Galaga, that's another one.
I still kill
Ryan
Galaga.
Sloan put that up there.
The arcade machine we have outside.
Who is the king of Galaga?
Corey.
That is right.
Oh, you want to go?
Oh, you should not go there, Frank.
Let's do it.
Can we
Frank,
bring a
I'm
camera
dead
and
serious.
like, stream this?
Yeah,
You're only sitting
we're gonna
yourself
play
up.
this because PlayStation has a emulator that has Galaga in it. Yeah, with the top games
Well,
or
at
retro
home-
games or something like that.
At home, I have one of those Moon Pies as well. That's just like a
Really?
USB to the TV, and I have thousands of those games. Like I have anywhere from like
the
Castlevania.
emulator that's
Yeah.
on like
I have everything
kinda
from
what-
like
what's over there.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
okay.
Galaga. Everything from the first Maddens to like Castlevania to
Oh,
the
Castlevania.
the
You see
Blues.
they're doing a remake
Yeah.
on
Yes,
that.
yes. I'm
So-
stoked.
This isn't the show is not supposed to be about gaming, but honestly, I can't stay
This show
away
can
from it.
now. This show can be about anything we want it to be.
Did you ever
right?
play the old Blues Brothers game they made off of the movie?
No, I didn't ever do the Blue.
Yeah,
Brothers.
I have that on the Moon Pie, and I randomly found that.
Ryan said he's made it to level 3 before on Galaga.
Oh, really?
You know, back when I was playing Atari, Journey was huge, and Journey put out a game. It was called Journey Escape after their big album, and the game sucked. It was like no better than remember.
The one that I'm thinking of, Joust. Never mind.
Oh, Joust was a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joust was always a classic, but this Journey game was like equivalent to the ET game
Yeah.
that was put out. Just
You know, we're sitting here talking about all these different games that were kind of basically video game Hall of Fame games now that they have
Right.
that. I'm surprised, but they, but there was always these other ones that were online for a while that they would just pop up, like Farmville, and,
Right.
things like. But what about the one where it was up on Facebook? Actually, it was MySpace right as it started to move to Facebook in 2009. Is that right? I think somewhere in there, but it was called Yeti, and what you did, the penguin fell, and you
Oh,
had this
yeah,
big
you
Yeti,
did it.
and you'd smack the penguin as hard as you could with this big ass bat,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it would go flying for yards, and the whole point was to beat the hell out of this penguin. To make it go the furthest you possibly could. I was like, I don't know how PETA hasn't eaten someone off.
Oh,
this
dude.
so
and
much.
that's probably
But-
G-rated now.
I loved that game too. Me and my neighbor would sit for hours just
Oh, it
watching
was
all
awesome.
watching all that blood spew from the
Yes,
penguin.
it was ultra for the time.
Now-
It was
Today
so
wouldn't be
stupid, but it
anything,
was so
for the
fun.
time,
so
it was
you
so
played
graphic.
the one where you beat the penguin.
Yeah.
Now, did you ever do the one where you spanked the monkey?
Oh, jeez.
That was one of my favorites, and I still play that one to this day.
We made it 22 minutes into this show before he did it. So.
So
I played the fifth of Jack D.
now that's a great segue into how much time do we have on this segment, Jason?
Well, I can extend it for as long as you want.
We have 2 minutes because at the top of every hour they force ads on top of us. So
Cool. Well, what I would like to eventually get around to talking to, which is I've seen it all over social media this week, and that is everyone's talking about all the great live music shows that are being announced all over. Not just here in our area, but like the Rage Against the Machine tour.
Yes.
There's a lot of great tours being announced.
Rocklahoma even. Listen to
Rocklahoma. We'll talk about Rocklahoma.
Aftershock out in California.
Yeah.
Rock on the Range. Was that Chicago or Illinois?
Right.
I think it's outside of Chicago.
But something
I
to
could
give
be
you,
wrong. Don't quote me on that.
but to give you guys something to think about when we come back from our break is a lot of people are complaining about the prices, especially people are paying the big bucks for the other big tours, but people are really complaining and have a problem with the Rage Against the Machine.
Mark, we'll talk about that when we come back and we start discussing this.
Yes.
If you're in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. It just popped up. But
Oh, wow.
Project Slam, we will be back. We're up against the top of the hour. We'll talk to you soon.
Mama said, girl, before it gets in your bed, make sure you put in the minutes place. Gotta go. Hey, I gotta go. Don't do me wrong. I gotta go. Daddy said, girl, before he tells you no, make sure you show him to the door. Gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. Don't do me wrong. I gotta go. Yeah. Before you go, baby girl, there's one more thing. Make sure he knows I ain't feeling no pain. I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. Don't do me wrong. I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go.
Ten turns to nine, not a second to waste. 8, 7, 6, now we're picking up pace. 5, 4, 3, 2, it's the end of the line. All out of time. But I won't go quietly. I finally found what makes me bleed. And it's a side of me you've never seen. You can't take that away from me. I'm still not sure what is that needs to be done. Shine straight down high. Stay true to yourself and fight. What you believe in, let the Lord show you the light. Let the Lord show you the light.
Project Slam back here, projectbackstage.com. I'm Corey.
No, you're not. You're Frank.
I was seeing if you catch it. I was trying to.
I like it. I like it.
But we're talking about, before we went to the break, about artists, their tours, and honestly how much they're costing.
Yeah.
Now, for example, one of the things that got put in our chat room was Kiss is playing Springfield, Missouri now.
Yep.
With the openers David Lee Roth.
Yep.
In Springfield.
Well, it's because the first leg of this farewell tour, they hit up all the A markets, the big markets. Then they're going to hit the secondary markets, and then the third. I don't know. Is there like the third markets? Like what? You're going to place? Never mind.
Third market would be like Billings, Montana.
Right.
I mean, so,
Well-
I mean, no one lives in Montana. It's a myth.
Deal is they've always been, about the money, and so I think this farewell tour lasted, when they first announced it, it was like 3 years, 3-year farewell tour.
Oh, for Kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was out in Vegas whenever they were doing their residency at Planet at Hard Rock, and they were doing an 11 or 13 show run, something like that.
Right.
And all you had to do is go to the Hard Rock, and they would comp you tickets because they weren't selling.
No, and that's what I just got word yesterday. My buddy hit me up and said the Kiss David Lee Roth show in Wichita, the first in Wichita, which is this coming Wednesday, the first 10 rows were
Nothing against Wichita.
Nah.
It's not.
No, but
there's not a Sprint Center there
No.
or a Providence Medical Center.
no, it's a
amphitheater,
pretty old.
or-
It's a pretty old school arena. But the first 10 rows are set aside for VIP, which sold for $1,000. Not one sold, and they released all of those for $100 a pop. So my buddy Brian Hogan,
$1,000's too much to pay for.
he was hitting me up, asking me if I wanted to pay $100 to go, like, basically sit in the front row and watch David Lee Roth and Kiss. But I think I may.
But here's on that point, real quick, before you move on. Front row's overrated. It
Yeah.
really is. You can't see the lighting effects.
Yeah.
You can't see what's going on. They're always looking past you because they're in an arena that they have
Right.
to entertain an entire arena. Front row's overrated. If
Sound's not going to be top notch.
you're in between the speakers. You don't. There's no throw to you. So I mean,
Yeah.
I personally would never buy front row just because you don't get the concert experience. But anyway, go ahead.
No, and you're right. We'll have sometimes kids that'll come to shows even here at Aftershock, small club, and they'll be up stage, and they're the ones that are coming back asking the sound guy, "Can you turn this up or turn that up?" And we're like, "Well, you're not hearing anything.
You're in the wrong spot.
You're basically in front of the speakers." But I may make the trip down to the Springfield show, not because I necessarily want to see Kiss, but may take Julian and my nephew.
Now, don't get me wrong. Kiss is a legendary band.
Right.
Honestly, I'm kind of burnt out on them just over the years. No, it's going out now. It's showing out. For a minute there, for some reason, it dropped, but it should be there now. But Kiss is legendary in itself. It's sad to see how people that are that big, Hall of Fame, and they fall.
and they fall. Well, and especially when you just
Rob, come over here to the mic.
They've
come over here.
done that to themselves in a way. Kiss is just kind of overdone it over the years. You know, you can only take so much of anything, and then eventually people are going to get burnt out. So some things need to go away. You know,
But I know this is off topic, but you're talking about Hall of Fame bands and how now they're playing Wichita and Omaha and places like that. We went and saw the year that Cheap Trick got inducted into the Hall of Fame. They came with Poison and Pop Evil, and they played second on the bill. Pop Evil opened, Poison closed. And what do you remember about that show?
Oh gosh, Cheap Trick. They, for what the band that they were, they should have hung it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The guitarist was the only one that still had it.
For any Cheap Trick fans out there, I apologize, but they should have hung it up.
Yeah, it was horrible. We literally, it's like, okay, we're watching a Hall of Fame band, and we're ready to just go get some beer and screw this, wait for Poison.
Yeah,
it was seriously that bad.
Cheap Trick's one of my all-time favorites, but I've seen them just recently as well, and I kind of thought the same thing.
Now, so with that, now the whole reason why we're talking about this is tickets for that. Kendall Summers hooked us up for that, if you remember right. And thank her.
Oh, yeah.
Still to this day, that was an amazing show. Pop Evil. Oh my God. We'll get back to that. But the thing is these bands that are touring, Rage Against the Machine, Kiss, they're charging these outrageous amounts that you have to work. You almost have to work on an entire second job just to be able to afford the concert tickets anymore. And they're not putting out the shows that they used to, and then they're complaining, why aren't our tickets selling?
Mainly it's because most of their music is from 25 to 30 years ago.
But that's honestly what we pay to go see. Because like Def Leppard, for example.
You're right.
Yeah.
They'll come and they'll tour, and they just... do we need to take a break? Something going on?
No, we're
good. Def Leppard, for example, they'll tour, and they don't charge a minor price. They're not like your $25, $50 tickets. They're pretty up there, too.
Oh, yeah, they are.
And then they play the new stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, they've done that for several years. Now they've gone back to playing the old stuff, but I paid those tickets several times. I don't want to hear the new stuff.
Right.
And also, their stage show's kind of gone downhill.
Oh, absolutely. There's some bands that just they shouldn't be doing it anymore. There's just no reason, and but unfortunately, again, and this is another subject that we'll get into as we move deeper into this. Is that people aren't buying music, so these acts, they have to go out. The only way they're making money anymore is by going out and performing live. That's why you have bands like Cheap Trick that just have to stay out on the road.
We'll go back to Greg Tott's post this week on Facebook. He posted that the reason why ticket prices are so high because people stop buying the albums. So it's the fans' fault that the prices are so high. What's your feelings on that?
No, it's absolutely true. And if you remember, when you go back, gosh, I hate to say it. It's like this whole internet thing just seems like it came about yesterday, but it's been around for a couple decades now. And if you remember when Napster came about and we were all excited about file sharing, it was great. I remember I loved it, and then the iPod came about and we could collect all of our songs even if they weren't the best quality. But Metallica,
we spent money on better internet just to be able to go download MP3s.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and remember, it took forever to download a song, but we were warned then. But you know what? We couldn't wrap our brains around because it was such a new thing.
Right.
We couldn't foresee. Musicians did, like Metallica, who fought it, but we were just, we were just happy to be able to get free music, and they warned us, what it would eventually.
But then Metallica, honestly, is the forefront of what caused the generation of the RIAA and this is what I find the most asinine thing of all of this is the RIAA went and sued the fans of these bands to collect money, and so you're suing your consumer, That never got with me. Now, I would understand in egregious cases where people were downloading thousands upon thousands and sharing it. But if someone went and downloaded an album, but it just happened to be a tagged album, it was still a $2,500 fine.
Right.
And I compare this, and this is, I know it's a little bit of apples and oranges, but the Motion Picture Association, they just said, look, if people are going to download a movie or two, we're going to lose the money, but we're not going to go sue them unless they're doing it egregiously.
Right.
And they've survived and survived very well. So why is the music industry going after their own consumers to turn people away from it? Yes, I understand if you download it, you don't have to pay for it. But even back in that day, if we downloaded an album and we liked it, we still went and bought it because we wanted the physical copy of it, or we wanted to.
I think maybe guys like you and maybe like music purists, because then there was still a lot of effort that went into the packaging. Let's face it. Back in the day, we would buy albums not just for the music, but there a lot of effort and thought went into the artwork, the liner notes. I mean, as a kid,
that's not there anymore.
That's not there anymore, and so I think eventually the industry quit going after the people that. Well,
now the thing is okay. These artists are saying we're not making any money on streaming, and it's true. They're not.
No, they're not.
They're getting not even a penny a stream. But if you look at it, at what Spotify and YouTube and all these music places are paying the label that the label takes before they give it to the artist, these places are truly paying their share. It's the label that's absorbing all the money before it gets to the artist.
Yeah, well, and it's always kind of been that way,
Yeah, but it's like it's insane now.
But it's insane now, right? So
I'm going to kind of touch on what Corey just said as far as the artistry and everything like that on the album covers. Well, look what just came back. Vinyl records just came back.
There's not a better sound.
You cannot download a vinyl record.
Right.
At all.
Generate
so you
something.
have to buy it.
Generate.
You know what? I never really thought about that.
Physical.
Right.
Okay, yes, the music can be shared, however, but even local artists will tell you, and even regional artists, we'll give away our music because we want people to come to the show.
Right. So no, but you know what? I just see a lot of people talking about Rage Against the Machine.
Right.
This week,
that's the hot topic here.
Right, a lot of big tours were announced, and a lot of them have the big ticket price. What's funny
is about 14 minutes. Not the big ticket price.
Nobody's complaining about spending the big bucks for the Megadeth, Cannibal, Lamb of God show or the Deftones, but I think it's because a band like Rage is supposed to be against the man. It's supposed to be against capitalism.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, we're gonna rage again. There was a funny meme, and I wish I could remember it word for word, but it talks about how, we're gonna rage again, and we're gonna rage against society, and we're gonna rage against all the inequality and injustices. $450. Yeah, I mean,
right.
It's like, wait a minute, that's everything that you were against. You used to be the $10 band. Let's sell this out at $10. We'll figure it out. I understand they can't do that in today's climate with the music industry, but to slap a tag like that, I mean, it was 125 first come first serve, 125 if you were early, you got floor. If you were late, you got nosebleed. It didn't matter. All tickets were $125.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that, and that's how it used to be.
And then on top of that, this is kind of a warning to people as well. Because Sprint Center sent out a press release that we got in our email. Do not buy tickets on the street from people who bought this tickets to Rage.
Right.
It's a restricted show. The person that bought the tickets has to show up with their ID to claim their tickets when you go into the venue.
When you go into the show.
So if you're not the one that bought the ticket, it don't matter if you have it or not. You're not getting in.
Gotcha. And that's a good way. And that's the...
Well, that ends the scalpers doing that.
Right.
Is what this is.
Very much.
But people are out there buying secondary market and they're getting screwed.
Right.
Because if you didn't buy those tickets, you ain't getting in. They're not transferable. It's a restricted show.
See, I don't think $125 as much.
You know, that's about my cap for a show.
Right.
I'll spend a lot of money for a lot of things. I've spent stupid amounts of money on some stupid things.
Now, would you spend 125 to see Rage?
Yeah, honestly, I would. I've never been like I'm not a hardcore Rage fan, so to speak, but I enjoy their music.
See,
I don't have the whole storyline and all of that behind the band. I just like the music.
I just don't. I'm just not a raging kind of guy anymore. I'm a more of a like let's chill against the machine kind of guy. That would be the band I would pay $125 for. But no,
We'll have to get that one out here for him.
Yeah.
Chill Against the Machine.
chill against the machine. Right.
I better not say it. That was going to be bad. So.
Right. But again, what I love is all these great tours are being announced, and
This year is a big year.
yeah,
But even foreigners bringing $200 at Providence Medical.
really.
Yeah, so
That's a
I mean,
lot.
the tickets are getting outrageous, and I don't know if it's ever going to come back down. To be honest with you, I think that we have now entered that rabbit hole that what you're seeing is the new normal.
No, it is. In the '80s, before this internet thing, it was you paid $10 for an album, $20 for a concert ticket,
Yep.
and $30,
If that.
maybe 20 for
I
a
remember-
concert shirt.
Yeah.
I remember Motley Crue was on tour, and this was back in the '90s. It was a Dr. Feelgood album, and when you bought the CD, you got a code inside that you took to wherever you bought tickets at that time. It was you go to the grocery store and there was a Ticketmaster outlet, and you took that code and you just paid the fee, whatever. At that time it was like $4, $5. Not
Right.
not 50 now, but it was like $4 or $5 for that ticket, and you got a ticket to their concert.
Right.
When they come to town, just for buying their album. So they were touring to support the album,
Right.
and now they're touring to create the album.
And to make
Yeah.
money, and right, and that's where the money was in the album sales, not
Right.
in touring. Touring
But-
was almost like a gift
But
to the
that's
fans.
that's what's lost in the music today, and I don't know how to fix it. Let me say it that way. But that's the fact that music is not putting out something that people have to physically hold, and that's the whole purpose.
I get that. You know what? What I don't like is I like that Rage did one ticket price, because that was back in the day when we were kids. There was one ticket price, and if you wanted up front, then you got up. They said Saturday morning at 9 o'clock they go on sale. Remember the
Yeah,
parties?
bro.
Remember the parties? There was a place in St. Joe. We lived in Maryville. We'd drive down. It's called Record Warehouse in St. Joe. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where
I
we would
remember
go
that. Yep.
to line up.
We drive up there because whenever
Yep.
it wouldn't be here. Sometimes the album we wanted was clear in St. Joe, so we'd drive up to St. Joe
Oh,
just
yeah.
to go get that album.
Well, we would stand in line. We'd be there. I remember standing in line at 9 a.m. to get tickets for GNR. They were $20, no matter where your seat was. But if you wanted up front, you got there early. They handed out line numbers. Remember?
Exactly.
And the day of the show, you knew whether you were up front or you were the guy in the back.
Right.
You all paid $20. The only difference
Didn't matter.
was that the people on the floor and up front, they were the ones that made the effort and getting up that early that morning and standing in line. If you were in back, it's just because you waited to the last minute to get a
Right.
ticket, And now it's a kind of a division of class, of classes,
And why does music have to be that way? It's never
Right.
been that way.
Like when-
why are you dividing people? Isn't music supposed to be the common denominator that everybody?
Exactly, and
Well,
that's what
that's-
I don't like is when you go to a show and you're a nosebleed because you
Well,
don't
you can't
make
afford
enough
it.
money to be down front, and you know that the whole floor, those are the people that paid $250 a pop.
Plus.
So it's a separation of of class, and I don't rock and roll is never supposed to
Once
be
again,
about that.
Exactly. We could go on all day on these minor things of demise of, if you will, of where the music industry has gotten to today. The fact remained is they didn't stay true to what they believed that made it what it was, and they got money hungry, which I understand businesses have to eat. And the only thing it eats
Right.
is money, but they've alienated their own consumers and their own fans by making all of these changes that is not fan friendly and consumer friendly to their product.
Right.
And
again, I think it all goes back to people quit buying music. So the only way a lot of these artists are making money is going on tour. But it does suck. It does suck when you see the true fans
it's kind
up
of
in the nosebleed.
Yes.
And the half-ass fans
It's
down
the same
front.
way with the NFL.
Yeah.
You think next year you're going to have true fans in the lower level bowl of Arrowhead? No, that's going to be the upperclassmen of Kansas City
Right.
there to make a statement.
Right.
Yeah, they may not. They probably don't even know who Steve DeBerg is.
Right.
You know, so
They should.
you know, but the point, the
Dave
true
Craig.
fans are going to be up in the nosebleed, hanging off the light post, you know, freezing their asses off because that's their love, and they're gonna pay $2,000 for a season ticket for it.
I got an idea. When we come back from our next break, I know a lot of people, well, I hope not, are chiefed out. But we got Paul Chandler.
How can you possibly
Right.
be chiefed out?
But we have Paul Chandler hanging out here. He works for Cumulus. We all know that Cumulus, for years, has been
the home of the Chiefs.
The home
for
of the
30
Chiefs.
years.
And they
were
just
home of the
left.
Chiefs.
He may not be able to. Just an idea. But while we're at break,
What he can say.
Let's
That
see
he's
if-
under a lot of non-disclosure.
yeah,
we know
let's see
this,
if he can
so.
jump on, and maybe he can't share some information, but maybe we can just get his opinions and thoughts on
Yeah,
if
and what he
it'll-
can say.
what he
'Cause
can say.
Once again, we're gonna let him talk with what he can.
Cool.
But anyway, Project Slam. We'll be back right after this.
I don't wanna hear no words of apology. I don't wanna see you beg and plead. There's just one solution to get what I need. mistake it for normal. Grind my teeth if I slept. I'd wake up drenched in my sweat. I'd scream at shadows for days and set flames to my morals. Use my loved ones as bait, so I'd have someone to hate. I'd look for somewhere to lay, find somewhere to quarrel. I get low. I get low. What would I do without you? I'd lock myself in a room, and in a mirror I fume, because there is no one left who pretends they can stand me. Swear by things that aren't there, that seem to vanish in air. I'd start to listen to voices and let them command me. Believe in every thought, if it's imagined or not. I would go so deranged that there's no open landing. This is what I would do if it were not for you. This is what I would do. I'd get I'd face the room with clenched fist and coddle fear that persists. I'd look for evil in love, and you bet I could find it. Lay in jealousy's bed and let it mess with my head. I would tell so many lies, you would swear I was blind. I would commit to submit, and like a coward I quit, and make sure that you saw and you knew it was violent. This is what I would do if it were not for you. This is what I would do. I'd get low, low. This is what I would do if it were not for you. This is what I would do. I'd get low, low. I would commit to submit, and as a coward I quit, and make sure that you saw and you knew it was violent.
We're missing a camera right there. Where are we here?
Yes.
You gotta tell us this, Mr.
I
Producer. Okay.
You're live.
Project Slam, ProjectBackstage.com. In studio now.
Frank was muted.
Yeah. By the way, I'm Frank.
I'm Corey.
You were make sure I said
I'm
the
Frank.
right name this time.
I'm Frank. Actually, I'm Paul. I'm Paul Chandler.
Oh, Jesus. In studio from Cumulus Light Radio X105 FM here in Kansas City. Paul Chandler, welcome.
Right on, 105.1 The X.
In the house.
So, we were talking,
About concerts and stuff. Let me little thought.
Oh, you
Kiss, I wasn't a big fan, but I tell you what, that Sprint concert was bad, awesome ass.
Which
It was
one?
awesome.
Which one?
Talk into the penis.
Talk.
Okay. It was up too high. The diaphragm's actually
Oh.
on these. So.
There you go. So right here?
Yeah, right there.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, should have told you that during the break. That's all right.
All right. It's not an omnidirectional mic.
So, you were never a Kiss fan? Seriously?
Not a big fan, but you know what? This last Sprint concert was so badass, man. Front row, too. So, I was front row, and it was awesome. every pick Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, all those guys were throwing out were going straight to the crowd. It was, I just got 3 picks of each artist, each, and drumsticks. I'm not joking. It was badass, man.
And it's exciting to hear someone get excited about stuff like that, catching picks and drumsticks, because that's where it's at, man.
I'm distorted.
Yeah, it's Mr. Producer has to work. He's actually doing this without headphones right now, so we gotta give him a break.
Yeah, I mean, so if there is any sound issues, just let me know in chat, because I literally do not have any headphones.
Kiss was
I
awesome.
can't hear it.
It was really one of my favorite
like I said, I
concerts
saw him
this
in
year.
Vegas, and it was well worth it. And things were great. And we're sorry about all the background noise. Someone keeps opening our doors, and it's kind of annoying, I know, as a listener.
We normally don't broadcast when there's a live show.
But we were sick Thursday.
But sometimes we do, because our studios are located in a music venue. So sometimes there'll be live shows in the
And
background.
a badass music venue, right?
That's right. The best in town.
So this past year, you were part of the Chiefs broadcast crew,
Oh,
so
yeah,
to speak.
man. Oh, yeah.
And, you constantly posted out the game, the whole works, because 101 was part of your
I was my
broadcasting
promotions
family.
manager.
And, obviously this year, Chiefs have left Cumulus 101 to Fox and going to Intercom at 106.5.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get too far into this, I'll kind of let you lead a little bit so we know what we can and can't say.
It's money, just money. I mean, it basically is that Chiefs want more. Things are, have to flip around. I mean,
and this was even before they won the Super Bowl.
I mean, they're also like, this is before the Super Bowl. We knew about this 3 months into the season.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because of it's just one of those things. I mean, money, things that you're not getting. You know what I'm saying? All the perks you're not getting anymore.
Right.
Intercom's going to find out real fast. It's going to be hard to hold on to the Chiefs, Now, because the thing is, when the Chiefs are going to start being able to broadcast on their own website the game.
Now, I don't want to speak of any figures, obviously, because that's all, I'm sure, NDA. But as far as, what you guys paid for the Chiefs, compared to what Intercom's paying for the Chiefs, how did you... I don't
almost paying double.
Right. And by my understanding, you guys took it almost as a break even just to essentially have the listeners.
We just made it every year. Just made it every year the amount that we were spinning out. And for those guys that paid almost double, it's almost crazy to think that they're going to be able to succeed on this unless, being really not really Intercom, being CBS Radio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, did Mitch Holtis retire?
No.
Okay, there was this
but
huge
still,
rumor.
Everybody's got to reapply for their jobs.
Really?
Yes.
So there's no guarantees that crew.
Who knows?
I mean, because they were saying, "Oh yeah, they'll be back," but
I don't know, man. I really don't know about that part. But I didn't know that
it's not your company.
No.
So
the thing is, the what I saw was reapplying. I mean, everybody had to reply. Is what I know from the Chiefs Radio Network.
Wow. I mean, now we were talking how this whole correlated in was, how money is going up everywhere for entertainment. And the Chiefs, and this is across the NFL. We've just got, the Chiefs here. It's easy to talk about the Chiefs here, but it's kind of this way. Wait till Vegas sees their ticket prices. That's going to be interesting. But, what are you hearing? I know that this is unconfirmed as far as what's going on, because I've heard anywhere from 10% increase in tickets to 80%
10%. It's going to be 10%.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually out there.
Okay, but there's people saying that their season tickets went up 80% this year. Is that?
I don't even know about that. 10% is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Even the guy, when I sit down and talk to the guys from McDonald's, they said the same thing because they're out this year too.
No more Big Mac for sex?
Nope.
Oh, that sucks. Although it's probably going to help with the calorie intake.
But it comes down to, like I said, none of the perks are there anymore. Why be a part of something you're getting no benefit except for just putting a logo on your stuff?
Right, and it was a lot of work too. You guys, you were required to do a whole lot of promotion.
Yeah, a lot of work out there just to get stuff to
Well, because you had the parking lot, you had the radio booth, you had all kinds of stuff to do every week. Because a lot of people don't understand. You don't just leave the equipment there and come back and just walk in and set up. It's not like a studio.
Mm-hmm.
That's a remote location.
Right,
So
it
everything
is.
has to be set up, tore down, set up, tore down.
When you're talking that kind of money, it'll be interesting what Cumulus can do with all that freed up money and what the other guys will have to cut.
That's
they've
where
got
I was
so-
going to go next with this. And like I said, if you can't speak, just tell us. You know, we don't want to impede on anything that you can't talk about. But with Intercom having to spend $6 million, now granted, they've got deep pockets. They just bought CBS Radio. I mean, come on, they've got
Actually,
huge-
it's CBS Radio bought Intercom.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
Intercom, because CBS Radio is getting out of the radio business, basically. Yeah.
Okay, but either way,
Yeah,
the
and
point
Intercom
is
was
they're
kinda going
Intercom
under,
and CBS the same thing. So they've got deep pockets. It compared to Cumulus or even
Well, they sold
like
a lot of
Carter
companies
here, or-
sold a lot of companies to basically, to make where they're at now. A lot of radio stations are doing that, selling companies to basically put money into places where they want to be.
Now, X105 kind of came not really out of nowhere. It was an alternative station before that kind of went up against Intercom's 96.5 The Buzz KRPZ. Now, when you guys flipped to Active Rock,
It's alternative active rock because we kicked the ass of the Buzz. Yeah, if you actually look at the numbers
oh yeah,
are
I've seen the Arbitron of it.
and I tell you what, it didn't go by the money demo. We're not talking about the 6+ to 95. We don't care if a 6-year-old is listening to us or a 95-year-old. We're
Right.
looking at the money demo.
Yeah, you're
we
18
kicked their
to,
ass.
what is it,
And
18 to 35?
It's like 25, 45 sometimes.
Okay.
It depends on 18, 35, 25, 45. It depends on who
Okay.
they're looking at. You know what I'm saying? They're mostly at 25, 54, 25, 45, I think. Yeah. So that's what they're looking at. Money demos. So money demos make the buying decision.
Okay.
Now,
You got
again,
$3 million estimated. I'm just gonna $4 million, $6 million, whatever you were paying for the Chiefs. All this extra money that you're not spending anymore. As a company, have you heard anything? And I'm not. Once again, I have to keep saying this. I'm not wanting you to say anything you can't. Have you heard anything now that all this money's freed up? That have new things coming up for your stations?
Oh yeah.
That's all I really,
That's
all
about
I
it.
really expected.
I mean, when
'cause-
you have a lot of, you got to think about this. When you're not paying for the staff to be out there. You're not paying that amount of money to be out there, that huge amount of money, and you're basically making that amount of money into what you were doing, just that amount of money, nothing over that amount of money. Plus, you're like, there's tons more stuff, man. I mean, it's like the stuff that we had to take out.
There's
there,
a huge amount of savings
The
that is
the
now in the
vehicle,
pocketbook.
all that stuff, the vehicles, the gas, all the stuff you were doing out there, plus the time the Chiefs are on that can be dedicated to something else. And you were
Right.
just barely making it. Now you're going to be making that money, which you didn't have. It's going to be quite a bit of sum of money that we'll have to put towards stuff.
Now, X105.
105 on the X.
Or 105 on the X. Okay, I'm not that. I'm a video podcast guy. I'm not. I play fake radio here. I'm not even. But
it's very important. You got to get that right.
now
It's like, what is it back in the day with Howard Stern?
Right. Yeah, you got to.
WHB or something like that. What was that?
Oh, WNBC.
Yeah, it was it, right? Yeah, there you go. That was it. WN. Now say it like this, Frank. WNBC.
beat my. But for your station, what things you guys got coming up that you can talk about?
Well, there's a lot of stuff coming up. I just can't talk about that part because I don't know. I mean, it's beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We are moving to a new place. We're going to Corporate Woods.
It's like every week you guys have something new popping up.
Well, again, like you said, Cumulus is moving out of the building. It's been.
I want one
forever.
of their old boards so bad. I know they're going to new boards. I want one of their old.
We're buying actually all brand new stuff. And all that other stuff going to
You have the old Akai's boards there, don't you? The Acris.
I don't know, like they're wood. You mean the wood ones that are
Yeah.
look like a Winnebago?
Yes, I want one of those so bad, just for the nostalgia, because nothing's that old,
Yeah, it's just pretty easy to. I mean, it's easy
digital.
to mess with too, But talking about those little wires that you had.
everything is hardwired.
Yeah.
And Corey, he doesn't understand how those consoles work.
insane, dude. That's
It's all
insane.
relays still in
right
those
on.
boards. It was
It's like little wires about this bunch, and then we're talking about one wire does 50 other wires have to be in the same spot. If it's not in the right spot, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, the whole thing just shuts down.
No.
And then you've got a tone
Right.
generator, and you've got
The processing and
But I
everything
think
is
it's great.
ridiculous.
You know, they're moving out of that building. I've seen the new building down in Corporate Woods that
Mm-hmm.
they're moving into, and it's definitely
Why
like-
Corporate Woods? That just dawned on me. That's a weird place to go to.
But you've got to think why. There's a lot of field out there.
a lot of
Yep.
field, and just open
A lot of
space.
grass.
It just dawned on me. I was
A
like,
lot
I'm
of
gonna take a shot at
lot
this,
of
and I got my
greed.
answer.
A lot of greed out
Right.
there.
So yeah, sounds like a lot of great things are happening. You know, I definitely think like, man, there's so much change going on in the city. You know, we finally got our Super Bowl, and then you got like, I think the Tides.
Well, we've had a World Series, 5
Yes.
years ago. Now
And
we've
then-
got a Super Bowl.
And now the face of radio is changing. Everything that has been the norm for so many years, whether you're talking about, rock stations and the goats of those, I think that's changing. The Chiefs not on 101 anymore, but I think it's all going to be for the good.
That's going to be
You
weird
know?
to me. I'll be honest. The Chiefs leaving 101 is going to be very weird. to
And
me.
the fans are, I'm hearing a lot of fans are like, country? I don't want to watch it. I don't want to listen to the Chiefs on the country station.
No, there's got.
So-
Come on, "Fight for Your Right to Party" is
Right.
is now the touchdown song.
I mean, the
At
better
Arrowhead.
station on that
You know?
on Intercom, the better station probably that it should have went to is probably The Point, maybe The Rock. Just a thought. But no, they're going to the country.
Up in the chat, Mark posted up there. You want to see go to KMAM or KMOE in Butler, Missouri? I've seen that station. They still have the turn dial board down there to turn your mic up, and it's like you have to turn on the damn mic.
Like
it is
The
horrible.
producer engineer is hunched back.
They don't have one of those.
Oh, they don't?
No, they got the squirrel out in the cage generating the power
Right,
for the
right.
tower. It is seriously the most antiquated setup I've ever seen. It's stuck in the 50s. But anyway, I had to comment on that just because.
But one of the things I want to bring up already, 105.1 DX is already doing radio present shows. Mm-hmm. That's
What do you got coming up? Like which ones do you?
Well, you know what's funny? Because I actually I manage 7 stations for promotions. Dude, I get them all intramural. Right now, 101 Fox is killing it on shows right now.
Oh, I'm seeing them on
my-
like presents.
It's crazy.
They're everywhere.
So, there's Europe coming in town.
Europe with Foreigner.
Yeah. God, I got to see Europe just one time. Come on.
Yeah.
Just Europe. That guitar player's badass.
From Europe, yeah. Well, you better get on top of it. It's kind of the final countdown to see that band live.
It's exactly right. It's a final countdown.
Yeah. I got to go out and see Foreigner this year.
Yeah, it's really only Mick Jones. This is the only original member of the guitarist.
Right.
Other than that, it's a tribute band. Which we could go off on that subject
Oh.
altogether. Like, when can a band no longer use the name of the band when it's down to one original member?
You get this a lot. Where bands come through, and I'll use LA Guns, and I know that puts you in a corner, but I'll use LA Guns, where Tracy Guns was the only one using LA Guns,
Right.
and that was it's like, oh, book LA Guns, but pay us this much. How do you promote that as LA Guns whenever you have another LA Guns running around that's not Tracy Guns?
Well,
but there's 3 of the 4 members there.
Here's what once an agent hit me up to bring 80s old school band Vixen. This has been about 10 years ago.
Vixen?
Yeah.
And before Tyson was in
I was
the
getting ready to
band.
say Tyson Leslie's with them now.
So at that time, I did the research and found out at that time the only original member was the guitarist. So, and they wanted
Not even the singer?
not even the singer at the time. And hit the agent back up. I'm like, man, I can't. It's just the guitarist. And he's like, Corey, most people don't know these things. Most people aren't music buffs like you.
No, but I'd be pissed if I bought a ticket
it's
to a
marquee,
guitarist.
It's marquee
of
value.
Vixen.
And but most people don't know.
That's the agent going on a hard sell. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much right now.
Yeah, you'd be.
But do you get that in radio a lot where, hey, sponsor the show, or, do you want to present the show? And it's just some, it's...
It really comes down to these guys, like the Coreys and the Field and the Terrys and the Mammoths and it comes out on all those guys. See what we can or can't do. It's just it really comes down. Radio has no dog in that fight.
You guys really don't care. Either we're going to go or not.
Let me put this out there to you. When you start looking at bands like Foreigner or
now that's a hell of a statement in the chat room. Foreigner is a corporate band.
Right, just like I went with the group here at Aftershock. We took a big limo down to see Boston. The production was awesome. The sound was awesome. And the place was packed and everyone was enjoying it. At some point in it, my wife looked at me. She's like, "Are you not having fun?" And I'm like, "I am, but I just can't get over the fact that it's really not Boston. There's one member, And she's like, "Yeah, but they sound good and everyone's having a good time. Can't we just forget about that? Forget about the business side of it?" Now, think about this. Why does that stuff work? Every year, how many here in Kansas City, the local amphitheater, 3 or 4 times a year, do these what they call dream concerts, and it's free. You don't have to pay.
Some people do, and I don't understand why. The tickets are everywhere.
Yeah, the tickets are everywhere. Basically, the promoter and the venue, they just paper it, and other paper means pass
out
away.
Tickets as hard as you can. Yeah. Pass out 10,000 tickets, hope for 1,000 to show up.
Yeah, and
that's a bad ratio,
right? Because the place, this amphitheater, fills up with 12,000 people to watch a night of tribute bands.
That nobody knows a single person who's on that stage unless you're really deep into the music scene.
And what it is, it's a jukebox. And what it is people don't care. It's about hearing their favorite songs.
Right.
Now, how the promoter and the venue make their money by giving away
the
12,000
parking,
free tickets,
the concessions,
exactly,
the merch sales, the merch sales, because believe it or not, venues get a cut off merch sales usually in the contract. Renting the spaces for all the merchants to be up there, of which they then also get a cut on top of that. I mean, so the venue makes money.
So people care on something like that? Do they care when they go see Foreigner if it's only one member? Nah, not as long as they're going to hear Jukebox Hero and and all their favorite songs. I think that's what it lends itself to, but that doesn't work for me. I'm a music. I consider myself a purist.
Let's look at Journey. Different lead singer.
Yeah, but it's the band, and like when you look at someone like Neil Sean not only is one of the most iconic guitarists, but he goes way back. He was in Santana.
Yeah,
and then it's all the it's other than the lead singer, it is Journey. Now some people they would rather have just the original lead singer.
And there's people that swear Tyson Leslie still leads Journey to this day.
People think that, right? But for me,
not right.
It's true though, and he'll tell you it.
Right, but I think music purists care. I can go see Journey and enjoy it still to this day, even without Steve Perry. I've seen Journey with Steve Perry, and it was phenomenal. And I've seen Journey with all the other singers that they've had over the years, and it's still a phenomenal show. Now,
no one knows the name of the new singer.
Arnell.
Is it Arnell?
Arnell.
Okay.
Now, would I get excited if a Steve Perry solo show was announced where he was going to do all the Journey hits? Would I go? Yeah, but I want to get excited. Like I would if you gave me just.
Well, that's like Bret Michaels. Whenever he goes out and tours solo, he's still doing Poison songs.
Yep.
There's nothing of his own. He's still
performing Poison. Right.
So I mean, is it really that big of a deal? I mean, people now. Granted, when Bret Michaels goes out on solo, he doesn't sell near what Poison does. But
Poison was a party band. They were, it was about
still are,
and that's it. But I think it's different band to band. Like I was going to say, on the same night.
And I have to agree with Ryan Sloan. Journey without Steve Perry, that it really was one of the best shows I've ever seen. They opened for Def Leppard when I saw them. And Journey buried Def Leppard.
No, they were great. And that's what I'm saying. If you gave me the choice on the same night, go see Journey with Arnell on vocals, or you can go to the Uptown Theater and see Steve Perry do Journey with a backup band, I'm sorry, I'm still going to pick Journey. You know, even with a different singer, just because, you know, Journey was not just about the voice; it was about the music and the songs. Remember when like 3/4 of Journey got John Waits? Remember John Waits did "Missing You" in the 80s,
Yep.
and they had Bad
Yep.
English.
Yeah.
Dude, and the reason why that band thrived was because of the songwriting. And
Bad
the songwriters,
English. Man, there's one I hadn't heard in a long
Bad
time.
English. And that band was incredible because it was Journey with a different singer, but the same songwriters, you know?
Right.
But
go back to the Cheap Trick concert. Actually, the one at Sprint Center
We've got 2
was
minutes
awesome.
before we're up against Heartbreak at 10.
Was awesome. The one at Sprint Center was awesome. The one at Voodoo Lounge tanked.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Now,
Not very many people
and
there.
that's something I want to
Maybe
talk about
500.
after. You know, while we have you know a good people for this conversation, when we come back, is you know venues like Providence Medical Center Amphitheater or Sandstone for us old folks,
right?
Versus Sprint Center versus Voodoo versus Aftershock. You know, talk about these different levels of venues and kind of where you want to see. You know, because I think there's some things getting missed there. Just like you're saying, they'll do really well at one venue, do really bad at another. But we'll talk about this after the break. Project Slam will be back.
Today I won't go easy
you fear a different point of view from yours. Yeah, legislate, you create a different kind of hate for all your friends. Yeah, just when that you think that you have me, take away all the things that I hold dear. You will learn seekers turn, bitterness doesn't pay your way. So long, I'm gone. Had me going with the lights you put on. I'll play, and today I won't go easy. Can't take me away. Oh yeah, you can't take anything from me. Got my heart on the sleeve for the world to see. You won't even do apology. Gonna live my life, live my life. You can't take anything from me. Got my heart on the sleeve for the world to see. You won't even do apology. Gonna live my life, live my life. Oh yeah. Can't take anything from me. Got my heart on the sleeve for the world to see. You won't even do apology. Gonna live my life, live my life. You can't take anything from me. Got my heart on the sleeve for the world to see. You won't even do apology. Gonna live my life, live my life. Yeah.
We back. Project
back.
Slam, projectbackstage.com. Corey?
We're going to wrap this thing up. You know, it's been a great show so
Yeah,
far.
And this is actually a bonus segment. We planned on going off 6 minutes ago, but we wanted to talk to someone.
But we had some technical problems in the beginning. And we were actually late.
We did.
We were
Yeah.
late. We were supposed to go live at 8, and I don't think we went live until about 20 after 8.
We were at 30, but that's
Was it
a
30?
whole nother.
Who's counting the last 10 minutes? So, you know, we've been blessed with some great guests tonight. Jillian stopped in. Paul Chandler jumped on the mic. Jason jumped on the mic. Rob even jumped on the mic.
Rob talked for the first time ever.
And Billy Alexander even dropped in and jumped on the mic.
I have a feeling that Amish dude's going to be in here a lot. I just got that feeling.
I think, you know, maybe he's the new, what was it that we called the other Billy? What was his superhero?
Chumley.
No, what was his, remember Billy Drury?
Yeah.
What was his Slam Boy?
Yeah, he was Slam Boy.
Well, maybe Alexander is going to be the new Slam Boy.
And he'll do stuff that Drury would never do.
That
Right.
nobody will do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like get us drinks, you know? That's what Slam Boy does.
We'll make you famous.
Get us drinks.
Clean up my puke.
Exactly. So you hear
Yeah, he has.
you hear the female voice. So joining us again, we've been broadcasting live here at Aftershock tonight, like we always do when we
Back in
do
our
thing.
secret room.
But tonight, you know, what's different is Femme Fatale 3 has been going on. A female empowerment kind of rock and roll
The
show.
True Pork Chop says, "Hi, Laura."
Hi.
I know it's weird. We when someone says something, I do the same thing. Hi, chat screen.
You had a
Right.
console, but it decided to die. We haven't been here for 2 weeks, so the equipment's kind of sat, and we didn't do any maintenance.
Yeah, we had a lot of like stuff happen in our lives. You know?
Windows
Mics were all
happened.
sticky when we came back. It was just
Right.
really weird.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But here we are, you know, Femme Fatale. It's been a great night of great music. not necessarily all female bands, but like female fronted bands, female acoustic acts, vendors. Laura, her band Shadow Sin, just wrapped up their set, and so she's joined us in the studio.
And honestly, I didn't get to get out there to see it, but I could hear it in here. Obviously, it's just right on the other side of the door. Yeah, I thought it sounded great.
Yeah, you guys like what? Did you guys do a 40-minute set?
I think so.
Yeah, because I was like hearing a bunch of songs, some new songs, old songs, and there's something to be said.
You just had an album come out, didn't you?
Yeah, the EP Time just came out in December. We just released a new single off that. Second single on the EP, but it's called Survive.
Okay.
Is that all you got on that?
Well, no, I thought you were looking at me like, okay, I'm going to go, so I...
Do you have the video for Say Goodbye?
I don't know. Do we have that, Jason?
I only sent it to you like 3 times.
Yeah, I think
I gotta look.
Oh, it's 2 weeks in.
So, with the new single, do you no actual video?
Video will be out in March.
Oh, right on. So you just released the audio, the single first, and
you shooting here locally?
Yes, and actually today our EP went live on all the streaming platforms, so you can listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, whatever your favorite streaming platform is. You can check out Time by Shadow Sin.
Obviously, she wasn't listening to our couple segments back about the evil streaming websites.
Right, well, she was on stage.
I know she was.
I'm pretty sure I tagged Slam when I said that, but nobody's been like, hey, give us that CD right now at Slam Studio.
No, really quick.
I hate asking people for their music.
Do it.
Even though we need it, I hate being
We don't know
give
who
me your
wants it.
stuff.
How does
We want you to tell us.
how does an up and coming band like Shadow Sin make money from Spotify, or do you? And can you?
Okay, so what we did for our EP and why it has just now gone on the streaming platforms is because we released it on our own site. Actually, it was Avenue Records. That's where we recorded. They released it digitally. So for the first 2 months, you either had to buy it in person or from there. So we got to make the initial profits without doing streaming, and we did pretty well on that. And now we have it on there through DistroKid, who pays us per.
So is
per
it
site.
Is it per play, or how's that work?
I think it's so many plays.
Right on.
Yeah, and then it accumulates, so you get royalties off that.
But you're not gonna make can you make big money?
I feel like.
Well, define big money. That's also.
Yeah, I mean, for
that's
us, it's just to
perspective.
kind of get it out there, get people knowing the words of the show, because we'll release a full-length album here this fall, and it'll be nice to at least have this, the people that know the last 2 EPs, that gives them something to listen to and wait for the full length.
Right.
So, also, I mean, we do pretty good at shows selling it, and we did pretty good. The initial release was great. So, for us, we're local. We're not trying to get rich off this. It's just fun, and actually, we're really, really happy with what we've sold so far. So,
how many singles will you release from Time?
should be all 4. All 4 tracks on the CD. We shot a live video at Voodoo at our CD release at Corey's show at the Voodoo Lounge in December. So that will be the next single that comes out. So.
Oh, right on.
Yep.
That'd be cool. I love live videos.
So some of you that were at the show, you'll be able to see yourself on the video.
That's awesome.
That kind of brings us into I wanted Laura as an artist to be part of. Before the break, we were talking about the different venues, and from a fan's perspective, obviously you're never going to see Kiss at Aftershock. Yeah, that's just not going to happen. But for local bands to try to take on a venue like Voodoo or even Truman, these are venues local here to Kansas City, but they're kind of your mid-sized venues. Aftershock is 500-600,
right?
Where Voodoo and Truman are like your 1,200, 1,500,
right?
And then you get into the bigger venues. But from a fan's perspective, I'll be honest, and I know an artist has a different opinion, but I'm getting tired of seeing having to go to Voodoo to see a local band that, like, if were in perspective they were playing here at Aftershock or Riot Room or anything like that, where it is more intimate, it is more personal. I think as a fan, because I've been out of this for 4 years, so I've gotten a whole new perspective on this than what I had whenever I felt like I was in the middle of it all. what is it about? Or, I don't even know how to word this correctly because I don't want it to sound offensive, but this is coming from like a fan of Shadow Sin. Why would you want to play someplace like Voodoo over Aftershock?
Well, it's just a different vibe. We very much consider Aftershock our home base. We love to play here. We know the staff. Everybody's so great to us. Occasionally, it's nice to play a different venue, especially for the holidays. It was also a charity thing.
Right.
We needed a lot more space for something like that.
So it's more of an event.
Right, and we did have like a VIP section, which
Right.
was really great for people that, they want that intimate, get up in front. But sometimes people, they also want to feel important and have a VIP section, have something.
Right. I'll pay a little bit
guys,
more.
I got excuse. I was supposed to introduce them.
Oh.
Well,
So-
too late for
Okay.
that. So I think they got introduced, Corey. So honestly, I think for us, it's not a matter of which is better. I think it's just a matter of switching it up,
Right.
and what event is more appropriate where. A charity event with a ton of bands that are supporting that cause, and it doubled as our CD release, and we were able to have a personalized section for our fans. That made it special for us. But then we come here where it's an intimate setting with all our favorite people around us working here and treating us like family, and it's just, they're both great places, just different vibes for different types of shows.
And I get that for what you're saying, and that's great. But in general, and I know you don't have the answer for every band. I just want to talk in general. Bands will, and Corey, you can tell me if it's still the same in today's market, because obviously, like I said, I'm not hiding it. I've been out of this, so I don't know. And I'm just now getting in and I'm learning. But before I left, bands would sit there and they would hold out from a show at Aftershock or from Riot or from these smaller venues per se to take a show that's not really an event, just a show at Voodoo. Which, to me, that almost feels like you isolate the fan even further because of the security measures that Voodoo has and whatever.
Well, I think it's an event, and it's not just an event for the bands performing at a venue like at the Voodoo, but it's also an event for the fan. I love doing shows.
I understand. It's $1 million stage show.
Yeah,
they've got lighting, they've got sound.
Exactly.
It is a top-end venue. I'm not going to ever...
And I love doing shows there. And I think even though it's technically not more centrally located than, say, a bar in Westport or Aftershock over here, I think people do get excited about seeing their favorite local band on a big stage like that. But what I can tell you is I get it. I get it from both sides, from a fan's point of view and from the band.
And I know I'm being conceited whenever I'm even asking this question, but I wanted to understand.
No, but I can tell you.
And I could ask a promoter all day.
No.
But,
But I think I will be. I think the big question is do the smaller venues start suffering? And I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see with bands that, just like when when Stratgazer went from being a promoter that did local music to start bringing in nationals and started giving the locals opportunities to be on the bigger acts, then what I found was there were a lot of bands, per se, that would no longer take smaller shows. They started what I would call, say, cherry picking.
Right.
Me. Which would mean, like, I would be like, do you want to jump on this particular show at Aftershock or the Riot Room or Davies?
Right.
And sometimes, not from every band, but from some bands.
Right. Now, I also want to real quick interject. I'm not ever talking about your band. This was just something.
Yeah. But I would get, no, do you have something bigger? They wanted the big, And I'm talking even here at Aftershock. I've had bands be like, "No, we won't. We'll sit this one out." But what starts happening is all of a sudden, when all the bands.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about. Is it's devaluing the smaller venue.
Well,
and I'm getting tired. I want to see my locals that, you know, if they can pull 50 or something, there's no reason why they shouldn't be in a venue like this where I can be up close and personal and enjoy them and whatever.
And you know, and that is another thing. A band that you could take X band and put them at Aftershock or the Riot Room or Davies.
Yeah.
And they might pull 20, 25, but they'll pull 100 for you at. And I don't think. Listen, I'm not here to say that's bad.
Right, and I know this is a very sensitive
because
topic.
I love doing shows.
Laura has something to say. Please talk.
I love doing shows, but it's just a different experience.
It is. It mixes it up. I don't think that it's not good to hold out and only play one venue all the time, because I think, especially for bands that do not travel around, you're selling yourself short playing the same venue all the time, because there's something to be said about playing different places, having your fans.
Well, yeah,
you're going to reach
diversify.
other people. There are people that think that, even that live around here, that think that Harris is just really far away. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I'm in Blue Springs, and I've
okay.
had people say, "Oh, that's
Right.
too far to
yeah,
drive."
but there's people in North Kansas City. They're like, "Oh, you're way in Johnson County." Like, so you have to spread out and be willing to spread out if you want to reach other people that just think, "No, that's far away." Unless you're a traveling band.
I think there is something to be said. I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer. I just think that it's what works. Now, I think I get caught up in the middle because I have an invested interest of the success of Aftershock.
Right. So you're kind of jaded to one side.
Well,
so to speak.
I'm not, because I also love doing shows at the Voodoo. Now, if it gets to a point, and there's a fine line that right now is kind of.
But at the same time, I know where you're going with this, but at the same time, if you had a choice of a Friday night at Voodoo or a Saturday night at Aftershock, as a band, what are you going to choose?
Well, you're gonna have to consider a lot of things. Who are you playing with? Is this what is the show just a show, or is there like an event behind it?
Right, and I think.
And so I don't think there's a straight answer. Do I like one or the other better? No, honestly, Aftershock is my home. We do enjoy playing Voodoo for all the reasons that other bands like to play it. The stage is phenomenal, the lighting is phenomenal, the sound is phenomenal. You're gonna get to do more on that stage than you can do at Aftershock, but at the end of the day, is the staff going to treat you like a smaller club? No. Even though they are nice to us at Voodoo.
They're very nice. I love Brent. I love all the guys
I
up
think
there.
it's just, there's a lot of factors that go into when you're going to take a show. And you can't just say, oh, it's at this place, so I'm going to take this show. I think you need to consider a lot of
No,
things.
and I think, like, asking Laura is like, it's the wrong person, because everything they do is calculated.
Right. So Shadow Center is a smart band.
Right.
I mean that lovingly. Versus, I'm just saying more in the mass of bands.
Right.
If you took that same question, I think 7 out of 10 times they're going to take the Voodoo show on Friday versus a Aftershock.
But
show
guess
on
what?
Saturday.
That band isn't going to get that opportunity because
Right.
I hold the key to all of that. And
Right.
you know what? I'm going to take care of those that take care of me. And when I say me, I really mean, like, when I say me, that embodies Aftershock, that embodies Slam Radio, that embodies anything and everything that I'm involved with. If you're not working with me on all levels, because that's how I've always looked at the Voodoo.
I see where this is starting to go. That's not where I meant for it to go.
Well, you just have to be open-minded. If you want shows, you got to pay your dues. You can't cherry pick things, because that's just going to isolate you from better shows you could be on.
No, and I don't mean to sound like an
industry-
ass, but what I mean, Frank, let me follow up, is that this conversation really has nothing to do with Shadow Sin. What it has
Right.
everything to do with, if you're a band that the last 3 times I've hit you up to do a show at
I
Davies.
think I hit a nerve. And I didn't mean
to play.
Pain is coming out of Corey's forehead.
No, because
throbbing.
no, this is going to be the new Corey in 2020.
Right there.
If you're a band, Frank, if you're a band that every time I hit you up to play a show at Davies or the Riot Room or Aftershock, but you say no, but do you have a Voodoo show coming up?
Okay, see that's the response I'm talking about.
You
right
are never going to play the Voodoo, at least for me.
So good luck to you.
Yeah, but so I guess I should have asked this a whole different way. The old softball question. You know, do you prefer the middle-sized venue, or do you prefer the smaller venue like Aftershock?
Hey, I think that's an unfair question.
Well, no, I think I
that's
did
like
I think I answered it. I mean, it depends on what's happening at that venue, because you could play the Voodoo, and if you don't have anybody that you're getting
besides just another show,
if you're not getting anybody there, it is not fun to play any club empty. You could be at the Voodoo and no
you could
one's
have
there to
300
see
people
you.
in the Voodoo
That
and it's
is
empty.
Yeah, that is not a fun. That's not an ideal show. So just because you're playing that stage does not mean that's going to be the best show. It's not. You have to be
You're
able
on
to
video
pull
where
those
people can understand what I'm saying here. He's over here just like, okay, let's talk. Let's
Nobody wants to play Aftershock empty either. But
no.
you know.
Sometimes I like to check my girl into the Super 8 for some just cheap, raunchy fun. But sometimes I like to, pay for a $200 room at the embassy, and it's
okay. I see where you're
going.
What we really need to be talking about is how you should not eat too many crab legs at Voodoo.
Oh, gee, that put me in the hospital last
Both of these
time for a
idiots
week.
eat way too many crab legs, and we all suffer from it.
That's not the half of it. Frank eats way too many crab legs and then empties his bank account by 4 a.m.
It's
I
that
really
crab
do.
legs.
It's like, where'd
Quote,
Frank go?
unquote.
Oh, go check the blackjack table.
I don't even think I saw you at the last show because you were eating, quote unquote, eating crab legs.
Well, it's a sight to see. Go check the Big Stakes poker room and you'll see a guy that's green because he's so sick from so many crab legs, but doesn't have enough smarts to go home. He goes to play poker.
One more
hand.
One more hand. I'm winning back the house.
So I actually totally train wrecked this segment, and I didn't mean to. But back to this. Femme
That
Fatale
only happens
3.
when I'm here.
It's your beauty. We'll do that.
Yeah, it just sets everybody on, all crazy.
But Femme Fatale 3, you played this.
Yes, it's funny. I played number 1.
Really?
With my band Odious.
Back
Yeah.
in 79.
I heard
Yeah, way back in the day at a Right Room, but I don't even know that it
Odious.
was.
I hadn't heard that name in forever.
Ooh, Odious. Yeah. So yeah, we played the first one. I don't know where we were on the second one.
Odious, if you know what that is, just spelled backwards, think about it. But tonight's been a great show.
Wait.
I'm just joking.
Just give the people
I
at
heard
home
you
a weird
had-
thought.
One of your members had a special thing happen out there.
Carlos. Carlos made his return to the stage with us tonight, and he happened to get engaged. That was really crazy and fun.
What happened? Because we just
Well,
heard
that guy told me a few days ago, and I've been carrying this around with me. He's like, "Don't tell anybody." And because I'm a good person, I held it in, didn't tell anybody.
You hate that.
Oh my gosh! I'm like carrying this burden around. Like,
Did
I
she
really
say
wanna-
yes?
She said yes.
Oh,
And
that's a good thing.
I could not handle it. I was like, I want to tell somebody, but I didn't. So just so you know, I'm a good secret keeper.
That's awesome.
But you can always tell when Laura's carrying a secret. 'Cause
I'm
there's
like,
something
nobody talk to
different
me.
about her.
Don't talk to me. Everybody there's like, can I get you something? Like, don't talk to me.
I didn't even know Carlos was back in the band.
Oh, that was also a surprise today.
That was a secret.
Yeah. That's all you need to know.
I figured it out last weekend whenever you're like, well, he's playing next weekend, so he really can't do it. You said something, and I was like, oh, okay. So, and then he was like, well, why is it shadow? I was like, they can't.
We are, and you know, yes, we were all here. We were just not playing.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was a good time. So I know we got to wrap things up. So before we go, thank you, Frank, and thank you, Laura, for being great friends to me and for putting the benefit together last weekend.
You know, honestly,
It was a really good time. It's a really good time.
we hope we never have to, but we would do it again in a minute if you need it.
Yeah, of
and
course.
that's the beautiful thing about the music community. So no matter where you're listening from, hopefully your music community is like the one here in Kansas City. And
And I know you hear this a lot, but you know, and the whole cliche, oh, it's the best. I truly believe we have a very tight-knit, better than any other music community in the nation.
Yeah.
You don't hear about stuff like this in other
No,
cities.
and when we're giving props, Mr. Paul Chandler, you do your share in this scene to keep it alive, and so it's a beautiful thing. What I can tell you, people, please quit dropping coats off at Aftershock.
Just
They're
bag them
still
up for
dropping
next year,
coats
Corey.
off.
My wife is on my butt because we've got a dining room. We still got, every time I go and I drop them off, I come down here and someone's dropped off. So the coat drive.
Like we're the new donation central.
Yes, and so Steve, the owner of Aftershock, has asked me, please, no more coats until next coat drive season. It's appreciated, but it's just a testimony to how awesome
Ask and you shall
Yeah.
receive there, Corey.
all you people are. And
You
so,
Real
anyway,
quick, promote your stuff one more time. Where can people find Shadow Sin?
You can find Shadow Sin online. You can find it on all the streaming platforms. Visit our Facebook, visit our Instagram, check out YouTube. We've got a couple of videos on there. We'd love for you to check that out and stay tuned for Survive video, our new single coming out in March.
Laura Roach with Shadow Sin,
It's Laura
all
Bowen.
one word. Whenever
God
you go
damn you
searching
guys.
for him.
You seriously. I'm a married lady, guys.
Oh hell!
They can't let it go. Can't let it go.
I've known you for too damn long.
At least add it on to the end.
What's the new
Bowen.
Laura Bowen. I had a Bowen in my high school. That's a whole nother
I
story.
call her Laura B.
You just Laura from Shadow Sin. That's good.
Okay, Laura from Shadow Sin.
Jesus.
Shadow Sin's all one word.
Laura B.
And go out Spotify, iTunes, any of the
Slam.
Is iTunes even still 64? Anyway, yeah, anywhere. Go check out their stuff. Great band.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see your next show. I wish I would have caught tonight, but we kind of
Wah,
got
wah,
buried in our holes. So that's it for tonight. Project Slam, projectbackstage.com.
Frank A.
Corey B.
Jason B.
Robbie B.
Robbie B. Polly C.
And BA.
BA.
Haley Joel Osment.
And
Snanny B.
Chad R. Those are our urban street names.
Make sure to like our pages all over Facebook, Twitter. We really need some followers on Project Gaming on Twitter. Also, if you want to be a writer for Project Backstage, we're now open on that. Also, we're looking for streamers. If you are a gamer and you like to stream what you play, please hit us up.
Really quick, Frank, gotta go, but what are the perks of being a writer for Project Backstage?
We get you.
I'm right tonight!
I need back payments.
But no, we'll take care of you. Getting you into the shows, getting you
passes,
talking to the artist, all that stuff. I still got what Laura said on my mind. I can't help it. But yeah, if you want to be a writer, if you want to be a game streamer, hit us up. Just email me, frank@projectbackstage.com. I'll get it to the right person. That's the easiest way. Let's get out of here, Project Slam. Bye.
Another shot of curry, another stone that I throw. Mama told me, son, you reap what you sow. So I packed up that 6-string, walked down the line. Another open highway, another town, another time. She says I'm no good. I'm no good. No good. No. I'm no good. Well, I walk the line every single time. Maybe tomorrow I'll be feeling fine. I ain't the staying kind. Rather full than get left behind. Win, lose, or draw, I'm always running from the grind.
She says I'm no good. I'm no good. No good. No. I'm no good.
Baby, hang up that dress, we ain't going nowhere. Everything I wanna see and do is right here. It's been a rough week and all I need is them big blues back on mine. They're gonna show you what you mean to me tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna sweep you off your feet and hang on every strand in your eyes. I'm gonna kiss those come here lips in between every one of your smiles. I know it's been too long since I laid it on you. It's time to set things right. Gonna show you what you mean to me tonight. That place on the back of your neck I know so well. When you need me to need you, we both know it never fails. No, no. To melt you down and get you high as the moon shooting through the wind-blown blinds. Gotta show you what you mean to me tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna sweep you off your feet and hang on every strand in your eyes. I'm gonna kiss those come here lips in between every one of your smiles. I know it's been too long since I laid it on you. It's time to set things right. Gonna show